The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spin-off. You can help us keep all of The Spin-off's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Welcome along to the Fantasy Suite. This is the official, unofficial podcast of The Bachelor NZ, brought to you by the spinoff.co.nz. I'm Jane Yee, and joining me from the Spinoff is Alex Casey and Duncan Grieve. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
It's good to be back together again.
It is. It's been too long.
It's the full complement. Have you got your timer going there, Dad?
No.
No? Okay.
I'll put that on now. I was just trying to buy us some precious minutes.
So we are down to the final six. Before we roll into all the events of this week, I just want to remind you that we are on Twitter and we'd love for you to use our hashtag, which is hashtag TFSPod. And if you want to speak to us directly, you can do so via our handles, which are at Jane Yee for me, at the Spinoff TV for Alex, and Duncan, yours is at Duncan Grieve, but Grieve's got the E before the I.
Yeah, Alex is also Alex KC as a civilian.
Yeah, but it's like Casey is Casey in the Sunshine Band. It's a whole thing.
We decided it was too hard
Just go
to
to the
explain
Spin-off
over.
and I'll be there lurking in your DMs.
Also, the Spinoff is on Facebook, and you should go there too because there's lots of exclusive content there as well. So that's all the housekeeping out the way.
Thank God.
Also, shout out to Lindauer, for it's still our non-sponsor that we reference more than the French, whatever it is.
The French Country House.
I think we figured out we've got like maybe 3 weeks of batch left, and we're really cutting it fine to get the Lindauer sponsorship for the
They
end
might
of the
come
season.
in for the finale, maybe.
This is on you guys, because you guys we put a challenge out last week that
Only
you should
my-
go out and source sponsorship for us, and you did
only
not.
my sister-in-law did the hashtag Lindauer on Twitter, which was unfortunate. But thank you, Ashley, for participating.
Thank you, Ashley. I'd like some promotional hats or some T-shirts also. If anyone at Lindauer's listening, could just send us those. We don't even need the alcohol.
Just something.
I thought
Just
we were
some
going
clothes
for,
on
I
our
thought we were going
bags.
for money. Or we just
Yeah, we want money. Anyway, we've got off topic here. All right.
Why are we here?
Okay, so Tuesday night's episode started the exercise of the day with hill running and vista gazing on Mount Maunganui, courtesy of Art. He was on Mount Maunganui, wasn't he?
I think it was,
Yeah.
yeah. It's good to know he's
Why are you
still
looking
always
at me so
working out.
confused,
Because I
Duncan?
thought it was Piha, but that didn't make sense because he would have had to run a long way to get to the top of that Piha hill. So
He could do it.
Yeah, of course. Look at him. It's the most perfect human specimen ever made.
And there was more exciting exercise happening at the beginning of Wednesday's episode, but we'll get to that in due course.
Yes, please.
Down to the final 8, off to the Bay of Plenty, and we start in a hot tub, our favourite place to start.
As always, crammed in.
Yeah, but a little bit more room. I think we were probably an inch or two below the surface this time.
Yeah, and
When Mike sort of slunk in
From behind the vines.
where he lurks.
what does he do?
Eternally.
What does he do when they're all on dates and hanging out at the house? What's he doing?
I think he just stands
When he's at-
completely still.
when
Or
he-
hangs upside down with his wings out in the rafters.
Yeah, he's definitely been working on his drop crotch jeans, though. That's
What's
for
a
damn
jeans?
sure. But we'll get to that as well.
Sadly, it's not all about Mike Puru. It's actually about Art and the Bachelorettes, and the single date this week, well, on Tuesday, was for Christy. They've established that it's a Bay of Plenty that they're going to, right? Because this is when I think they're still in Auckland when
Yeah,
they get the date card. And it says something like, because the date card, Mike says something about there's plenty. No, there's plenty. The date card says there's plenty to do or something,
Yeah,
or there's
yeah.
plenty of room for everyone or something like that. Something about plenty. And they'll
There's
go,
definitely not plenty of room for everyone.
it's the Bay of Plenty. And then we find out Christy's going on the date, and Matilda suggests that maybe Christy will get her horse riding date on the beach, finally, and Christy says, is there a beach there in the Bay of Plenty? What do you reckon?
It might be.
There's a little bit of a giveaway in the name of the location.
She might have thought it was Bay, like BAE.
Hey, has she been banging on about horse riding at any point in the season?
Well, they don't capture all or very much at all of the footage, so she could have been doing it almost constantly, and still it hasn't been picked up by a live mic.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that they should have thought about in the edit. I don't know.
No, there's been a lot of that, hasn't there?
Okay,
It's
yeah.
fine. We love it. We
love it for what it is. We love it for what it is. So off to the Bay of Plenty, and they arrive at this secret waterfall.
Yeah.
It's secret waterfall that no one knows about, even though it's got fences up and walkways.
Fancy trellis fencing, which looked like it was on private property or something. It was a little odd. He also organised candles for a walk through a well-lit... and he thought it was like the most amazing thing ever, or whatever his normal, ridiculous hyperbole is when she walked down some steps. That really, really blew his mind.
Was he like, that's the bravest thing I've ever seen anyone do?
Pretty much.
He says that every episode. She loved it.
His eyes are open to amazing things people are doing constantly.
He's the most credulous guy. Like, everything he sees is just mind-blowing to him. It's sweet. They
had a great exchange just before they went through those tunnels, where she was like looking down at the waterfall, and she was like, can we go down there? And Art said, yes, that's where we're going. And it was just like the most inane chat. It's like, obviously you're not just going to go 50 metres down a little path. No, we've seen the tunnel, let's go.
The most inane chat you've ever heard? Ever?
Possibly not.
Watched a lot of Bachelor.
I've seen a lot of things.
They dive in, and the water's so cold she starts... Decent jump, by the way. Like, that was quite a height. I'd be freaking out, personally.
And it did seem cold, and I understand her hesitance and her subsequent hyperventilation.
Okay, so she was playing it, right?
No,
you reckon it's real?
I buy it. Because I reckon it was like 26 degrees in there. It was the height of summer when this was filmed. It was very hot summer, and that could have been coming down off the mountain, snowy Mount Maunganui, and could have been very cold water. That can make your body all kind of freak out-ish. Look, I want to believe in Christy.
Yeah, you won't pick it up, surely.
That's fine.
I don't know, it seemed like...
Why are you guys also always so keen to doubt the magic?
Because it wasn't dramatic enough. He took his sweet time getting her to the shore.
He tried to kill her, is why. Because he basically said, you're right, shall we swim towards the waterfall? Yeah. Like, that makes sense when someone's, like, seriously... practically drowning. It's to go towards the waterfall. Isn't that the one thing they tell you not to do?
I do think that he maybe thought that she was putting it on, and I don't think he liked her, as we'll get to that.
I think that's safe to assume.
Yeah.
But hey, luckily he's trained in surf lifesaving
/ copping a feel in the water. Yeah. Drags her by her boobs out of the water. And she had a big old grin on her face while he did that too, I might add. Yeah. So suddenly she wasn't so drowny.
She had completely stopped hyperventilating by the time Art actually got his hands on the boobs.
So the question I put to you, and you say no, Duncan, but Alex, do you think it was a play on Christy's behalf to encourage some physical contact? Like, I'm freezing, gives it a little cuddle.
I don't know if it's for physical contact. I just think it was to do something, I think she's just looking for something to do. She's looking for reasons to be vulnerable.
Let's not forget last week we were discussing the fact that we think she's watched the show and she knows how to play it, so she knows how to play the part of...
That's true.
Bringing out the Bachelor's...
There was a very good fake hyperventilation on last season's US Bachelor.
There was. It was amazing.
Someone faked a panic attack to get a rose. So if Christy's seen that, who knows?
Didn't work.
We'll get to that.
One of the neat things that Christy said was, I've had boyfriends take me out to dinner, but this is a real date. Now, I don't know. It's dinner. That's like the definition of a date, isn't it?
Dinner is a lovely date.
In fact, the
only date.
You have the term dinner date. You go on a dinner date.
If someone said I went out on a date last night, you wouldn't assume that they went swimming in a really cold pool. You'd assume they went to dinner.
Yeah. So
she's pegging things pretty high, demanding this horse riding thing and all that. Maybe she's just sick of dinners or something.
Demanding is just
every day with the dinner.
It's an understatement, the demanding. Okay, they have a couples massage, which was like quite full on because she's got no top on. She's lying there and they're holding hands, and it all looks like it's going quite well.
Yeah, she something that really made me laugh is she's like, I'm not controlling, I'm not bossy. And then she went, always go harder, Stephanie, to the masseuse. Which was really weird.
At the controlling side of
for
Christy we started really seeing it in the dodgeball date, but man, it just aimed next level this week, right to her exit. But we'll get to that. So Art asked Christy, obviously he's picked up on it, asked if she's bossy. She says, yes, I'm not sure if it's bossy or controlling. Well, I personally wouldn't throw the word controlling out there myself.
Don't give those as the only two options.
And then he does a piece to camera saying he doesn't like bossy people. So not just like I don't like bossiness. I don't like bossy people, a.k.a. I don't like Christy.
He said, I like a little bit of sass, but not boss.
Yeah, and she's a self-confessed bossy britches.
She basically, I think that was a really, really terrible and telling exchange. I felt like whatever hope she had at that point was extinguished with that, and her the way she just kind of froze and just anteed up when she meant to kind of mitigate it, and you're just like, oh, Christy, I felt like she'd almost seen too much Bachelor at that point, and it had kind of been rehearsing things, just completely mangled it, and then just sat there in a heap for essentially the rest of the day, knowing that her moment was gone.
Okay, I know you don't want to. I know we can't just sit on one date for ages and ages, Duncan.
It's only been 10 minutes.
There's more in this.
We've got to talk about the Black Doris.
Oh my god! What a great moment. So, first of all, there was this enormous vintage-inspired ice cream cart sitting next to them, which in its giant wooden box had was it even one sundae or was there two? Did I have one?
Oh no, did they share one?
I think there was two. Honestly, I was so blown away by
bloody paleo,
the exchange that followed that I couldn't. The details are a blur. Can we talk? I've actually written down word for word the exchange.
Okay.
Do you want to do this with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
No, I'm gonna have to move the mic a little bit.
Can't believe I don't get to be Art.
Do you want to be Christy or do you want to be Art?
I will be. Who's who? Hold on.
This is he says Black Doris.
Okay.
So this is
I'll
Christy.
be Art then.
Okay.
Okay.
So Black who?
Black Doris Plum.
Black Doris does a great job.
Black Doris is actually the name of the plum.
Oh yeah. Well, she produces the flavour, does she not?
If we're referring to the plum as a she, then yes, she does.
What was her name again?
Black Doris.
You can't write comedy better than that.
It was incredible.
It was so. She tried. I like that she tried to make a save. Like, she obviously doesn't know what a Black Doris plum is.
Well, I didn't know what a Black Doris plum was.
She just could have said, I've never heard of that, but it's yum. But instead she's like, well, she produces the flavour, does she not?
It's so awkward. Who is she imagining as this Black Doris woman is my concern.
That is the thing, it's so like Christchurch for her to think that Black Doris is an appropriate name for someone who makes plums. They call her Black Doris on account of her skin colour.
Oh, and Art was just I felt like he was really reeling and trying to hold it in, you know.
Yeah.
Like he was doing his very best for the television.
That was some of the top comedy of the series.
It was hilarious. It was so good. I've never thought about misinterpreting Black Doris like that before, and now I'll never forget it.
Then she pulls out some photos.
Yeah, that was a really weird move, I thought. And also, how long has she been holding on to those?
She's brought them with her.
Down the back of her bikini.
She's brought them with. They've been for a swim.
Yeah. Been for a freeze, potentially.
She's brought them with her when she's decided to go into the Bachelor mansion, and then she's taken them with her on the plane or the car ride down to
her late
the
at
Mount.
night while other women are out on dates, going through them, going, "This will save me." It's the saddest.
Yeah, like I don't know, winning the cross country and you're like 5. Is that a thing?
I think she's really proud of her athleticism, so she's just trying to prove to him that it's, you know,
I guess so.
It's not a lot. It's not just for the cameras. It's always been there.
Yeah. It didn't save her though, did it?
It didn't save her. She returned to the house without a rose, and all the girls, this was awkward as well because all the girls think she's hidden it.
Yeah,
it's super awkward because they're like, "Where is it? Is it up your pants? Is it down your back?" And she's sort of like, "No, there's no freaking rose."
And she tried to make out like that was totally normal, that people had been on single dates before, and it was really her determined like positivity in the face of of those odds was really tough to take. It was an emotional episode.
What I thought was weird though is that kosher for someone if they don't get a rose on the single date? I thought that meant that you just went home.
No. There's sometimes I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so they keep you around.
I mean, Art's making all the decisions.
I mean,
it's
Art
certainly
is
not up
calling
to the
the shots.
producers. He's calling the shots. So if he wants to not give her a rose and just,
He's building all the sand couches.
he's
that's
building
for
all.
sure.
He's so busy.
I don't know how he has time to shoot this show. Quite frankly, with all the
He's pairing up with Black Doris and everything.
all the exercise as well. So much exercise.
Who knows?
Anyway, so then there's a group date. So it's basically things are looking bad for Christy, and he makes her suffer for a whole nother episode, and us as well. And then there's a group date. Very diplomatic. Even Christy, who's just had a date, gets to go on the group date, which is lucky because it's the great horse extravaganza she's been waiting for.
Yeah, not quite on a beach, but it's close enough.
He says he doesn't want a princess on his horse. Like he was looking for someone who was rugged and knew what they were doing. So this was Christy's chance at redemption. But it just didn't happen because, Matilda.
Someone stole the limelight with their weak little wrist. But also, actually,
classic city girl wrist.
I know.
Always snapping.
Speaking of princesses, though, before the Matilda thing happened, Crystal had a little thanks for no thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Which kind of, I don't know, it really makes my skin crawl when she says babe all the time. I find
It's very condescending.
Yeah, to everyone involved. And she's like, I'm a little nervous, babe. I'll just sit this one out or something.
You know, she tried it for like, no time at all, then just got off. And And she does it quite frequently, like later in the second episode when she found out about the skydiving date. She was, I wouldn't have done that. Her whole thing is, I'm too fancy to do almost anything apart from pash on top of the museum at the Domain.
Yeah,
it's her main thing.
Also the volleyball and the pool, she wouldn't do that either, would she?
Oh, that's right.
No.
She won't even partake in the cocktail party most of the time. She'll just go and sit by herself.
And we know that Art wants someone who's adventurous, so I'm just doing the maths. Not looking good for Crystal. Anyway.
Maths.
Serious maths you're doing, James.
It's actually kind of Crystal style maths. So I've got this theory that Crystal might have never been to school.
I'm doing the metaphorical maths. Hey, so we've got to mention about when Alicia she puts the saddle on backwards, and Christy, because she's a horse riding expert, it's like maniacally laughing at her. Like she's literally jumping up and down and clapping her hands. And this what is actually a pretty minor misstep for someone who's never ridden a horse. Like, how the heck do you know which way a saddle goes? But Christy was just like, I've won lotto. This girl's an idiot. I know how to put on a saddle. Yeah. And she actually handed Alicia the saddle the wrong way around.
Fail, do you think?
Did she?
Yeah. She sabotaged her.
Classic Christy.
She's messing with her. Well, this is her one chance, her one opportunity.
Yeah, but anyway, as we said, Matilda blew it for her, and fell off her horse Paris, I think.
Was Paris.
A little stumpy horse. And she'd had a bad horse experience in her past where she'd owned a horse or had a horse as a kid, and the horse had rolled on her and kicked her or something, and then bit her, and then.
I wonder if this all in one event.
I think I thought about this a lot because she said the horse bit me, the horse kicked me, and then I fell off. So I don't think it was one event because I don't think you can. I don't think a horse is so flexible they can kick you while you're sitting on it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I did think about that.
Hey.
So no, three separate events, and then no more horses for her, and then this happens. You couldn't write drama like this.
Yeah, well,
you can't. That's right. The Bachelor is writing stuff all over the place that you couldn't write yourself.
Danielle B did back her horse up to kick Matilda's horse in the face. Is that how it happened? Obviously, it doesn't really happen on camera like every dramatic episode of The Bachelor, but they sort of swung around just to its aftermath. It does look like a good solid fall. I wasn't surprised that especially on the rock hard ground.
Yeah, and she landed right on her wrist, and then you could see it almost straight away. It was like there was a big gross bone sticking out. No, there wasn't. It was a small bump.
Art's not super nice. Ed Sheeran reference there, by the way. Small bump.
Didn't even know I did it. He's always on my mind.
Even better. Art he's not that perceptive, because he didn't notice at first, or didn't notice that Christy was drowning in the previous date, and then didn't really think that Matilda had hurt herself too badly, and then it wasn't until she was
doing a lot of swearing.
Yes. And she was crying like a lot.
Well,
as soon as it happened.
Didn't look pretty. It was all like mangled and nasty.
Yeah, had little dimples.
Yeah, so the ambulance came.
Yeah,
and she got some one-on-one time with Art in a gurney, which was quite nice. You got to do what you can.
Do what you can. Look, to be fair, hurting yourself on a date will get you a rose. Bachelor standard.
I think she's safe for like 3 weeks minimum, no matter what. Like she could just vomit all over him and still get a rose because she's broken her bones for him.
He would probably give her a rose because she vomited all over him. Like he gives out roses for
that's the most
all sorts of ailments
anyone's ever vomited on me.
You're so brave.
You're so brave.
They sat in I still feel like with Matilda, there's kind of like they're still in the friend zone of it. Like this,
think so?
Well, she's on the bed with her sore wrist. He could have given her a cuddle or anything. It's not. He didn't. He just sort of walked in and said, "Oh, how you feeling? You all right?" Here's a rose.
She's injured though. You've got to be careful.
She's a wounded sparrow.
Yeah.
Little peck on the cheek, or
I think she got a little stroke.
Did she?
He's a big stroker.
Yeah, he kissed her on the forehead.
I
don't know. Art kind of creeped me out in that sequence. I didn't really like it.
You've gone off art.
I've gone off art.
It's now the time to discuss that.
Is it now?
No, I've got it. I've got that for notes at the end.
We can do it at notes at the end.
So
yeah, that's fine.
Because I also think that art's gone off everyone. But anyway.
What I liked about that visit is when he came back out to the cocktail party, of which Matilda was not a part of anymore. Alicia, like, just making funny little chatty conversation, was like, did you give her the rose in a little room servicey kind of thing? And Art just really sincerely said, I visited Matilda and I gave her a rose. And it's like, you didn't answer the question.
You don't joke about that kind of thing, Alicia.
But is that him just not really engaging in girly chat?
That's what it seems like.
Wanting to kind of feed the gossip, like sit down with the girls and go, well, here's what I did. Like, he was just trying to like not give anything away about his private time with one of the girls.
That could be it.
Or
I
is he
thought
just
he was
boring?
just killing the vibe, if I'm honest.
He did a lot of vibe killing, I reckon, over this last couple of days. So he got some more one-on-one time with Poppy at the cocktail party, and again he wants reassurance that she wants to be there. It's like he hasn't had a lot of time with Poppy lately, but every time he sees her, he's saying, "Do you still want to be here?" This is after that whole masterstroke at the zoo, where she's kind of like threatening to pull out.
Yeah,
and
he just doesn't want her to do it again.
She treated him mean, and he is keen.
That's still the best move, I think.
Totally. Danny interrupts and says to him, I just want to make sure you know I'm still here. And he says, how could I forget you're still here? Take from that what you will.
Yeah, that's a nicely enigmatic turn of phrase.
Yeah. What he's actually saying is, who are you?
Or just please don't just leap on me and go straight for the open mouther.
Danielle B went in for a 1-1, straight to the point, just begged for a single date.
Yeah, she had this was her kind of big move, hey? She sat down.
Move.
It was like it was like her day in court, right? She was coming down with all her papers ready.
Yeah.
And she was like, I feel confident that if you take me on a one-on-one, that you won't be disappointed. And I just put in capital letters, what is she promising? She keeps hyping herself up like, when you get me alone, you're going to see something crazy. And as we found out today, it wasn't a lot. I mean, in the episode following.
She really knows her way to how to go through a thermos.
Yeah.
That's what she can do.
Yeah.
Cup after cup after cup of hot chocolate.
And then Art just said that was a very ballsy move. Was it?
Billy Big Balls. A Billy Big Balls move? Would we call that?
Does it get the Billy Big Balls award?
It was very hard for him to send her home after that, though.
Yeah.
That was the genius of it.
So that was, she's smarter than any of the rest of them look.
Yeah, she's a fancy lawyer.
Following that little moment, there was some alone time with Crystal and Christy on the couch. I thought it was weird after last week's cattiness. They're sitting there and kind of, having a little heart-to-heart. Crystal puts in a little barb, though, as Crystal does. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling after Art forgot to give you a rose?
Oh, she's amazing.
It was a great,
But she's
great turn of phrase.
She's always condescending. Like, did you see her even in tonight's episode just gone? Just like gently stroking her shoulder and this like, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
She's just always in there trying to kind of break these women down to nothing.
Like, they actually wouldn't have any drama or plot twists or anything if there was no Crystal. Because she's the one who's forcing people into interrupting and all that kind of stuff. If I were you, I would do this.
Yeah. You're the last one on the end of the bench. Go.
So Art's on the waters. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but that, again, made it not seem like that much of a cocktail party.
What was that, sorry? Art's on the waters.
Yeah.
I also know... Oh, no, it's
maybe he's got a
episode.
CrossFit tournament tourney coming up or something.
Could well have been.
I guess
he just wanted to dominate the Bay of Plenty Masters, or men's. He's not that old, is he? He's not a Danielle B.
But then again, CrossFit's not that. It's only been around so long, so maybe he qualifies to be a master of CrossFit.
So can we go straight? I'm just gagging to talk about the amazing exchange where during the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
Before the rose ceremony. Sorry, I just because
me
you're going to
cover
we're going
everything.
to talk about Mike Puru, and I just want to say,
Mike's moment.
Mike's moment before the rose ceremony, he says to the girls, "It's time for Arthur." And I have nothing further to add. I just feel like that's an
great.
odd thing to say.
Everything he says is quite weird if you actually listen
It's
to
also
Mike
the
at
way,
any point.
the way he says it. Like Jane, as you pointed out off air, it does sound like he's got the solemnity of a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire kind of thing. Everything is this really, really earnest pronouncement. There's no kind of play to
Yeah.
it whatsoever. It's really awesome.
It's time for Arthur. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and the lights go round.
Okay, anyway, so Art pulls a classic batch move. What does he do?
He gets down to the last two, and he just can't decide. He's going to Christy or Nat.
Nat, yeah.
The emotional weight is taking its toll, and he has a little meltdown and walks out to the balcony.
He's got to get out of that fancy
He
lounge.
needs some man time. He needs some wise counsel.
And who better?
Last.
And who else is around?
His sidles on in.
It's
The guy who's always there, but
Mike
never
Puru.
used.
Mike Puru. There you are.
So I've got a little script here, Jane. Would you like to be Arthur? Or,
Can you point
or
out where
Mike?
I'm looking?
Here we go, just along here.
Okay. So
I'll be Art.
okay, bro.
No. This is this.
Is that you?
I'm Art.
Okay.
Bro,
How do you feel?
confused.
I'll leave you to it for a few minutes.
That was it.
Walks away.
That was the amazing counselling offered by our wingman, Mike Puru.
He's just freaked out.
This is the Bachelor NZ trying to emulate the Bachelor US. There's always a time when the Bachelor gets overcome and overwhelmed with it all. He walks out at a moment, leaving all the girls gasping, "What's going on? What does it mean?"
Yeah.
And Chris Harrison, total pro, sidles in, has a few words of encouragement, pat on the back, and sends the Bachelor back inside, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Mike didn't
Mike.
quite achieve that, but you know. It's not early days, is it?
No, it's
No.
not. And I was like, where did he go? Why is he in a rush? He's literally doing nothing at that French country house.
He
I
just
think
goes and curls up in a ball next to the barbecue.
Goes and stands next to the hot tub.
Look, my pretties will come back soon enough.
Anyway, thankfully Art
It was
did manage.
wonderful.
He did manage to come to a conclusion all on his own, and it was to not send anyone home.
Yeah, so he pulled an
Roses
extra
for
rose
everyone.
out. Extra rose came from approximately his butt. He just went, no one's going home today. And it was kind of
Psych.
like, yeah. I mean, you can't keep this up,
No,
but you can have it for one ep, I guess.
Though I was fine with it. I don't know about you guys. I just don't want the Bachelor to end. And unlike X Factor, okay, it had double elimination, but that just seems to be taken forever. Whereas Bachelor, because it's double
Too
episodes,
fast.
it's going fast.
I can feel time slipping away.
Danny was pissed about it. She was pissed that no one went home because she's basically, in her eyes, that's my man. This is all just academic at the moment. We're just rolling through everyone. We're just doing it for the tally, and we're going to be off in the sunset shortly.
Yeah.
Danny,
So for her, it's elongating the process. Poppy says she doesn't know how to feel. I think that's her way of
Yeah,
being
she said,
diplomatic and saying that.
Hooray?
Hooray!
Question mark?
Yeah, angry Danny I've written here. Send them both home. But, I mean, that's a pretty...
But that's
Pretty intense
fair.
statement.
That's fair. She's like, you know what? There's this many of us left. He knows who he likes out of this lot. He knows that
That's true.
there are not 8 girls that he likes equally.
No,
he can
that's
just find the bottom 2, which he had.
Yeah. As someone said, Arthur, you cannot have 8 girlfriends. I don't know, that might have been
That
Poppy.
sounds a Poppy line,
That sounds
yeah.
like Poppy.
The way you said it does.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I was preempting that. But you know what? Akon has 8 wives, so
Is that true?
let's get amongst it. Yeah.
Akon...
Imagine the Akon Bachelor. It's a whole new
Jesus.
show.
Okay,
But he could just
that's a
marry,
lot.
at that point, he could just go, everyone, he could get down on one knee at this point in the show.
And Michael Hill rings just on all his fingers.
Just throws them in the air like a lolly scramble.
So that's Tuesday's ep. How are we going for time? Okay, yeah, we're about halfway through. Wednesday's ep opens with Art doing some swimming.
Go for a swim. Lovely shoulders.
He's
as I
got
said.
good swimming style. Is there anything this man can't do, physically speaking? No.
Probably not.
We haven't seen it all.
Have we
'cause
seen
it's
him
on at
dance?
7:30.
We haven't seen him dance.
No.
Yet. Dancing with the Stars starting
Yeah.
soon.
Like Chris Soules in The Bachelor US.
I always, Wednesday's episode, I tend to sit down and watch a bit more than Tuesdays. I'm taking notes the whole time. How did we start? We started with Matilda's. We have a quick reference of Matilda and his sausage fingers.
Yeah, something about that. How she's healing up. Mike came in with his funny drop crotch jeans, which now get a platform. Just really low on the hips, really low in the crotch, almost a skirt.
They'd look funny on Jono or Ben. They're definitely not appropriate for Mike Baru on The Bachelor. It looked like they just sort of shot that as like a dry run kind of just to see how it felt, and then just went, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And just forgot the crotch.
Should I put my real clothes on? No.
I like Mike in his drop crotch pants. Okay.
I like Mike full stop.
It.
Yeah.
I love
time.
everything he does.
Because I know he listens.
Hey, Mike, you're great. Those jeans are funny. That's all. You're allowed to say people's jeans are funny. You did it last week.
I've got more. I've got more later on too.
Good.
So the one-on-one date was with Poppy, and I'm so pleased that when she pulled up and she saw the words tandem skydive, she actually reacted to that in the way that was appropriate. Like she knew that this was her date. Whereas we've seen other dates where they've pulled up exactly to like a bungee jump or a helicopter pad or something, and they've all been like, what are we doing? Where are we? What are we doing? So she saw this and went, holy crap, we're jumping out of a plane. Holy crap. Did quite good facials and all that.
Yeah, she's
her reaction was real.
It's proper scary. I should imagine jumping out of a plane. That's not something I'd seek out.
And I learned that it produces the hormone when you're stressed or you've got adrenaline pumping. Isn't adrenaline a hormone? Is adrenaline a hormone? Is that a hormone?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Sorry.
Fourth form science is where I tapped out.
Phenolethylene, I think, is what she called this thing. That
she said it quite a few times.
And she's got that phenolethylene. She's got an accent, so I'm not sure if I'm getting that right. But it's a hormone that makes you feel like lovey-dovey. Lovey-dovey-dovey.
Is that the same thing as in chocolate?
I don't know. Are there hormones in chocolate?
If there are any scientists listening, #TFS pod.
I think we're beyond help.
It might be the same hormone that's released when you give birth. And you're like, it forces you to love your child. Not forces you, it helps you. Helps you to bond. And speaking of bonding, I definitely think that jumping out of a plane is, and the rush that you'd feel after that is like a good opportunity to bond. You've both done something like crazy scary. And you're just going to be climbing all over each other after that to be like, oh my God, we did this. Aren't we amazing? So.
And they were.
It is the scariest thing ever.
I was kind of wanting Poppy to just get close to that, the like instructor guy who jumped out of the plane with her. Because they were great talent. I don't know if you saw their faces, but they were going nuts in the wind.
Their faces in the wind was something else.
That would have been a good classic Poppy play to sort of give the instructor a big kind of cuddle while looking over his shoulder at Art with those giant Poppy eyes.
Yeah.
That was a missed opportunity,
it's
Poppy.
Quite hard to,
that's why you're fifth in the rankings.
It's quite hard to cuddle behind you, though, isn't it? When you're like free falling from 15,000
No, I mean when they landed.
Oh, right.
I'm doing the like pash hands.
Yeah.
Right now, just for listeners at home.
Can I just take a photo of that so we can pop that up?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, he's doing stuff with his face as well.
It's really the worst thing I've ever done.
Look like you're playing a huge instrument. Anyway.
And in a way I am.
Anyway, the jump out of plane's not enough. There's more date to be had, and they pull up to Warm Earth Cottage, which is nearby some sort of waterhole. And they
like literally a waterhole, not a kind of a dive country pub.
No, not a pub.
All right.
Not the pub in Neighbours. Is that what that one's called? The watering hole, is that? No. Okay, I might be making things up there. But anyway, an actual waterhole. They get into their toggies and they dive into the water together and something amazing happens.
Yeah, someone forgot to put their straps on.
Nip slip. Poppy never wears straps though. I feel like she's always just waiting for a nip slip.
This was more than a nip slip. It was
full boobage. Top off. Girls Gone Wild.
And we've got a still shot of Art's face that you'll post up somewhere.
Yeah, that'll come out.
That'll turn up somewhere.
Enough.
On the internet, no. That's the place to put it.
The spin-off.
On a bulletin board.
Net.
But he just looked. He looked. I mean, it was a moment in time, but he had time to look away.
Did not flinch.
He had like a cartoon surprise face.
Well, because basically
really
he's been surrounded by women for, 12 months. And so far he's had 2 awkward pashes. And it's just taking its toll. And he was like, right, well, this is probably as good as it's going to get. I'm gonna take this eyeful home. Yeah, it's taking like 1,000 eye pictures.
Sorry. And I'm just visualising his face as her top comes down.
He pretended to put his hand up, but he had already seen he's seen everything.
Have you ever worn a bikini, Alex?
Yes.
Or togs of any kind?
Yeah, definitely.
When you dive into the water,
yeah,
you know as a girl that you've got to first thing you got to do is check yourself. In fact, preferably do it under the water before you surface. You kind of you check your top.
Yeah. Well, it could also have been premeditated because she stood up quite quickly with that big open portion. She must know how it responds to that kind of stress.
I think that Poppy must have nice boobs. She backs her boobs, and that's why she's
also
done this.
backs her back. She talked about how ample it was.
Her ample back. Her butt.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, and I've got a sizable rear. Is what she said. We're not trying to cram into that tiny baby bath.
Okay, because the cuddling, there was much a cuddling happened in the watering hole, but that wasn't enough. They went back to the warm earth cottage and had a bath together.
Had a scrub.
They had a scrub. Someone didn't do their recce properly. The producers, okay, Art didn't set up these dates. Again, I just want to reiterate that to everyone at home.
What?
A team of producers and production assistants and so on have gone out and they've found all the places that they're going to set up for the dates, and they've signed location agreements and sorted out contra and all that kind of carry on. And while they were there, they're there's this bath, we'll pop them in the bath at some point. I think that someone, if they were doing their job properly, would have gotten into that bath with another human. They would have got a big, tall, art-shaped guy and then a woman, and they should have gotten into that bath together to see if they were going to fit.
I liked it.
It was amazing. It was good, but you know what I mean? Someone didn't do their job properly.
Yeah, I think we've established that with how they had a jailed fraudster amongst the bachelorettes for a while.
I don't think there's anyone working on the show. It's just Mike.
Do you think...
Yeah.
And I can say this because, and Mike, if you're listening, please confirm this. He tweeted during this bath sequence that he was the one who put the petals in the tub and said that Art specified he put 40 in. So, Mike, if that's true, it's a weird joke to make. If it's a joke, it's hilarious. If it's true, it's awesome. So can you just confirm that for us?
He's not going to confirm.
Of course he is.
A bachelor host never tells.
Yeah, that's the code.
He's part of this monastic society who meet once a year. Come on, you know how this works.
Well, Poppy and Art are getting very, very close by being wedged into a very small bath. Back at the Bachelorette pad, they're wondering what Pops and Art are up to, and they're suggesting things like canyoning, because she wants to go canyoning, so maybe they're canyoning. The date card said that he was taking her sky high. I just feel like these girls sometimes are having trouble putting two and two together and doing the maths.
They've been pretty their whole lives, and no one's ever told them they were wrong or stupid.
Yeah, they probably forget as well. Who knows when they're filming these? I don't want to get into the production side of things and ruin the whole illusion, but it could be days and weeks after. Or before.
Days and weeks.
Yeah.
410.
While the girls are back, hypothesising about what they might be up to, Danielle B finally gets her single date.
That's right. Was that served to her by the old man with the pina coladas?
Yes.
Well,
they're holding 2 litres of milk. Imagine having that before you go on a date.
Yeah, no. They probably need some sort of basic liquid though to balance out all the acidic.
Or maybe it's calcium to stop her brittle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Danielle B. I think you're wonderful.
No, but also
you're
Matilda.
Also
it could be for her, healing.
It could be a new variety of Lindauer milk.
Coming next summer.
I bet it'll be delicious.
It does sound delicious.
Lindauer Leche. That's French for milk.
What kind of Lindauer are we enjoying tonight?
Fraise.
It's a lovely phrase.
Don't think that's French for strawberries.
It is very strawberry though.
It's sweet.
Not my favourite.
Give it a sniff. It smells just strawberries, full strawberry hit.
It smells like nice bath lotion for washing body.
I don't think that you're selling this particular variety too well by saying
it's like
that.
a lolly but worse.
See, Linda, look like we've turned the natives have gone feral.
We're negging, and I mark my words. Next week we will have that sponsorship thanks to this. Where are we? Okay, so Danielle B's got to, but we're back to Poppy and Art. So they're back home. Danielle B's got her single date. She's excited. She's going to get her little camo cargo shorts out and iron them in preparation for her date the next day.
Yeah.
And Poppy and Art are now on the couch getting cozy.
And kissing.
and kiss it. He pulls out the rose. Asks her if she'll accept it. At this point, I just want to note that they are giggling a lot, like that they've been going out forever. And
or drinking all day.
This is silly, that they have to go through the motions of this.
Yeah, also that they might be like reshooting a sort of a fluff take, or when when the cameraman was off having a ciggy or something. Like they're very comfortable in each other's
having
company.
A ciggy. It's 2015.
Yeah, that's what cameramen do.
1994.
Come on.
Okay.
That's what you do after
do you mean,
a refreshing glass of Lindauer.
Camera person, Duncan.
Tripod. Poppy press
drone.
Drone?
Mike Porro's behind the camera, isn't he?
Yeah.
Throwing petals into the wind. Anyway, he knows that Poppy wants to wait until she's in the top 5 before she submits to a kiss, but he basically just disrespects
I'll
her.
allow my mouth to be dispoiled.
He just respects her and says, "Look, give us a kiss." He doesn't. He asks politely.
Gives a kiss.
Yeah.
And she can't resist. She can't resist the pull of the art.
Yeah, well, someone's
Or the Arthur, I should say.
Yeah.
Arthur.
She says Arthur a
A
lot.
lot.
The start and the end of all her sentences almost.
It's very loaded when she says it as well.
Yeah.
And they well, I want to say they pash it up, but it's very closed mouth, safe for the 7:30 TV time slot kind of a kiss.
It was a faultless kiss, though, as Poppy said. Faultless,
And
it's fine.
he said a thing afterwards that was really bland and innocuous and was also the nicest thing she'd ever heard.
Yeah, he said something like that was better. It's everything I imagined it could be.
And
like
better
that.
or
Better
more.
than any other staged TV kiss I've ever had. Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Then she goes home and misleads the girls and tells them that
They didn't kiss.
she gave him a peck on the cheek. Not technically lying because she did, but she didn't. It was a live emission, is what it was,
It's
because she
truthy.
she didn't reveal all the details.
And then they went him and Danielle B went blow karting,
Yeah.
which is not a thing I'd heard of before.
It's a funny name, though.
Sure, I enjoy saying it.
If you
Blow-karting.
didn't watch the show, which would be weird, I don't know why you'd be listening to
Yeah,
this.
what
If
are
you
you
didn't watch the
doing?
show, this would be
Turn
quite
this
boring.
off, watch the show, and then listen to
Okay,
this.
blow karting for those at home who didn't watch the show.
It's like a sail in a little wagon thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's go karting and yachting,
Windsurfing.
windsurfing.
Together.
Okay.
And it's kind of obvious that if you have like a 200 kilo hunk of like human perfection in one cart, that's you, Arthur, and in the other one you have a small
45 kgs max, so she's
45
tiny.
kg lawyer. The light one is going to win in the gravity race.
I thought we weren't talking science. We weren't talking for science and
Yeah.
numbers and maths and things.
Well, you guys
Well,
did,
the
like, 2
scientists are
minutes
listening
on
now,
hormones, okay, so Danielle B wins. It's a very boring date. They
She
No,
blew over.
wait,
the
no.
wagon thing blew over.
That was nothing. That was just like a non-event. They
It was
made
a little bit funny.
They promoted it as if it was. Yeah, it was a bit funny, but not as funny as her shorts.
What was wrong with the shorts?
She had these shorts on with like the pockets that were the size. They were just ginormous.
She's got a lot of stuff.
I feel like she's got her
35.
legal pad in there. She's got her iPad
An
mini.
accordion.
She's got her accordion.
A mini
Travel accordion.
She just huge pockets. I just think if you're going on a date, this is your big chance. There's not going to be another one-on-one date. There's no time. Not because it's not going to go well, but just because there's no time. You need to get on your sexy best, and that I don't think was her
But to
sexy
be
best.
fair, I don't reckon a thermos of cocoa is that sexy either. I don't think anyone
What are you
brought their
talking
A
about?
game.
Hot chocolate, my favourite.
She was going to explode.
She is like a
She
kids'
was
TV
yelling.
host.
Yeah.
She is like a kids' TV host.
Yeah, except
Seriously, if
really
that
old.
lawyer thing doesn't work out for her, she could be the next Susie Cato.
She could mentor people to do that. She's 35. Come on,
That's true.
you didn't see 35-year-olds on that.
And look, her age really came into it at the point when they started talking about kids.
Yeah.
I think he was a little harsh to her.
He was really hard. He was
Was he?
harsh to her in the way that he said to Christy the previous date the date before the 2 dates before, about like he doesn't like people who.
Bossy, sassy.
No, he said something after she'd already said that she was bossy. He said that a deal breaker for him is someone who can't go with the flow. Basically saying, you've told me you're bossy. Deal breaker for me is someone who can't go with the flow. And then he tells Danielle B that he wants kids in 5 or 6 years.
Very specific.
What's wrong with that?
Well, because by then it'll be very... it's a lot
You're
tougher
showing
for
your
her to-
youth, Alex.
Yeah, stop.
You wait till you're
Put
32.
it away.
You wait till you're 32.
Why?
Because,
What, should be 40?
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult to
Is that
conceive.
very
Is that
difficult?
dicey?
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's not impossible.
No.
It's not impossible, but he's sort of putting it out there that, hey, you might be ready to
Right.
have kids now. I'm not going to be ready for a while.
I've got to go out with all these 8 women for ages.
It's
Yeah.
quite a big thing to not be on the same page about.
But was Danielle saying that she wanted kids?
It was almost like a cruelty, right? That he said basically, we almost certainly can't have children, or I'll wait till it's real tough for you. And then gives her a rose. You know, it was very weird. Very
So
weird, that
weird.
whole
Yeah.
exchange.
That leads me to believe that maybe the producers wanted Danielle on for another episode.
Good for that demo.
But it
Is
didn't.
it?
But it
She
didn't.
short-circuited them, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Just saw right through them.
Back at the cocktail party, I don't think we need to talk anymore about the beach
No.
couch.
Oh, she
or-
said one good Danielle B quote. It was the perfect date, so well executed. The only thing missing was that I felt like there should have been a spark.
That was a great
The
line.
penny has dropped. Danielle B has realised that this isn't, as Jane called it, the friend, not the bachelor.
I have to also mention that, and this comes courtesy of your daughter Duncan, who was watching with us, that when he produced the rose, Danielle B was all like, that was a surprise. I forgot that roses get given out. And I'm thinking maybe you forgot because you're so old. But anyway, Jet says, she sounds like Grandma Jude.
I should say, Grandma Jude is my grandmother and Jet's great-grandmother.
Oh, so she sounds like a
She's
great grandma.
85 years old and just speaks so crazy. She basically doesn't remember anyone's name. She's twig thin. I don't even know how she's still alive. And she just wanders about saying really offensive things. So it's not a flattering comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just thought that was quite funny. Anyway.
Oh dear. She does have quite like that kind of quivery old lady voice, though.
And quivery old lady handwriting.
Oh yeah.
Which we'll get to soon.
Check that out on the spinoff.co.nz. The pop quiz analysis, where you get to see all the scary, scary handwriting of the Bachelorette.
There's
Far
a
out.
lot of jappiness in there, I'll tell you that for free.
Cocktail party rose ceremony. Firstly, I want to mention Alicia recycling. We're recycling again. Alicia was recycling Poppy's hairdo from a few weeks back with the plait across.
Yes,
The front
a
of
thinner
the front.
plait,
Thinner
but a
plait.
plait nonetheless.
That's extreme recycling. They're recycling dresses, they're recycling makeup, eyeliner looks, they're recycling picnic baskets, and now hairdos.
Yeah, it's all happening. Who knows what's going to happen next? They'll just
The purse strings
wear
being
drop
tightened
crotch
as they go.
jeans or something.
Now, Danielle B had her moment to just turn things in here. I just thought she looked really good in her little gold outfit.
She
Yeah.
looked like a spaceman.
Yeah, but like a sexy spaceman. She
Yeah.
should have worn that to her blow-carding date.
Yeah, she could. I'd just like to point out that when she made her big announcement, Art's response was, "Wow," which he says almost constantly. He's
Yeah.
the most shocked man
Yeah.
there's ever been.
It's like every day is like clean slate for Art. Almost like every time he hears something, he's like, "That's the bravest thing anyone said," or
Wow.
yeah.
There was a
Maybe.
point of the show that we were all yelling at the television and clapping, and what was that about? What was that? Was that this bit?
I can't remember. No, it wasn't
Do you
this
remember
bit.
that we did that though?
Yeah, we did. I'm not sure when it was.
This is great audio, guys.
Yeah.
Really proud of it. We're like an hour
Dunno.
in and don't
I
even
just
know what
dunno.
we're talking about. Who's Grandma Jude now?
She gives up her rose. She says she can't accept it because there was no spark, there's no chemistry.
She wants love.
She wants love. She's got enough friends, and so she's all like, "Take." He says to her, "Take care," and no, she says, "Take care," and he says to her, "Same to you. All the best." It's
Yeah.
like there was just so
Very
nothing. It was
civil.
actually very civil. He may as well have signed off regards.
Yeah.
And she was gone.
Yeah, and then Natalie went down for a quick catch up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a
Just to
very
see how
awkward
he was
conversation
doing.
with Art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she really looks the part, but her every interaction with him is an awk fest.
Yeah, she said something weird. She's like, "Now that that's happened, I want you to tell me what you think I should tell you," or something like. It was the most weird cryptic thing.
I just fell asleep. Sorry. It was Natalie. I actually really like Natalie,
So
but
do
I feel like I like Natalie when she's not with Art. Like her exchanges
Yeah,
with
me
Art,
too.
kind of she
Yeah.
unravels. I guess she gets nervous.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't?
Then Christy decides she needs to have a word, and he doesn't want to be left alone with her, so he's like, let's go upstairs. And he's scared she's going to kill him, I think.
Yeah, I think because she looks like her whole posture is that of a trained assassin.
Yeah.
She's like Lara Croft, the human.
Yeah.
Totally. So they go upstairs where other people can actually, there are witnesses, basically.
Always go to a public space, that's what they tell you.
Yeah. And she makes a last-ditch attempt at trying to open up her books and
there's nothing in the book.
bash down the walls, and it wasn't enough.
Blank books.
Embarrassingly, if she hadn't done that, then she would have still been like a walled fortress and could have walked away with her head held high. But instead, she just
Christie's whole
laid it all
exit
flat.
was just a debacle.
Wow.
Yeah.
When she didn't get her rose.
Yeah.
Where's the tears?
It was so tense.
Where's the tears? And then reciting everyone's name as if like Art might have forgotten who was left on the show.
Oh, I think she was trying to indicate who would be good. She name-checked Poppy and Matilda. She didn't name them all, did she?
She's like, you'll have so much fun with Poppy. It was very odd.
It was really
Do you know what
odd.
it was? It was controlling. Right to the very
That's
end.
true,
Where
yeah.
are the tears, guys? Where are my tears? I think
Cry!
if you're not going to go out with
Matilda
me,
trying
you
to
should go
squeeze
out with
out.
Cry, my
Matilda,
pretties.
or you should go out with Poppy. I'm going to have my hand in this right to the very end, and then she was gone.
Yeah, and then at the end, when Poppy or Matilda wins, she can go, I told you so.
She's a bit like the Wicked Witch of the West, as she's like melting. She's kind of going down, going,
Yes.
Poppy or Matilda.
Except I still think she's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, though. Before we move on, there was one more thing. Matilda opened up massively with her broken arm and her open heart. She was like, I'm in this for the long haul.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Which it was is that the first time someone's really said, like, I like you,
Oh, I think
want to stay
I think
here.
Poppy has kind of indicated that. And Danny, I mean, that's no secret.
Danny will tell anyone.
Yeah.
She's on a street corner right now yelling at passing cars.
She's looking for a pash.
Danny's, just turned into this puppy dog, just like, talk about me.
Pash? You keen for a pash, mate?
I have just one question. What kind of house was it that they were at, by the
A
way?
French country house.
Are you sure it was a French country
It
house?
was
I
the
think-
French
was it a
country
French-
house.
A French
Was it in the country?
country
If
house.
we say it 100 more times, we might get near how many times Mike Potter has mentioned it. It's like fully a quarter of his total dialogue on the show has been French country house.
Do you think he was getting a backhander from them? Like he's getting an extra $20?
Getting some kind of hander from the French country house. For sure.
Okay, so that's the show. We've just got a few notes to tick off. I think that Art has been very, up to this point, he's been very diplomatic with his single dates. He hasn't done any repeats. This isn't not the formula. In the US show, he'll quite often go on a repeat date with someone before he's gone on a date with
Too much of
someone
a
else.
gentleman.
Too much, I know. And then I
Yeah.
thought, look, he's done Poppy before Danielle B, but then of course he knew he was going to do Danielle B. So the whole thing's just too diplomatic for me.
He just didn't take Danielle B on Poppy's date because he didn't want her poor old ticker to give out on the way down from the plane. Every time I make that joke, remember that I'm older than her. Audience?
Yeah, so am I,
So
so I
it's
should be
fine.
laughing. Okay. Thoughts on Art?
Well, this is my thing. He's starting to weird me out a little bit. The little things he says, I don't know, I feel like if it was coming from anyone else's mouth, anyone who was not that attractive or ripped or tall or whatever he is, it's kind of weird. Like, it kind of sounds like what an auntie or like an old person would say. When he's like, oh, you poor dear, to Poppy, to Matilda, and pats her on the head. And he started doing like quite a little David Brent-y kind of move. I don't know, if you just watch him and think David Brent, it all kind of comes together.
Do you know what I think it is, though? I feel like he's suddenly quite standoffish with girls. Like, overall, he's not going in for the kill so much. He's still being very polite at a point in the show when really he's supposed to be making, like, very real connections with people. And I feel like there's something going on. It might not be something we ever find out during the show, but I think maybe.
Yeah.
There's some rumours flying around about stuff. I don't give any spoilers away. So I feel like from the rumours that I've heard, maybe something's happened, and he's I don't know.
You think he's trying to back out, or he's realizing?
I just don't feel like he's in
enormity?
it as much as we thought he was going to be.
Possibly.
Duncan, what are you looking?
I had a dream about Art.
Well, this was on the list. Art Green Dream, I've got written down here.
I woke up and wrote it all down. It's quite long. I don't know what I should do with the text. But I had a dream. It wasn't a sex dream, but it wasn't a straight dream.
Right.
I don't know quite what to make of it. I'm an otherwise happily married heterosexual man, but Art Green's crept into my brain and just running amok when I'm asleep. So
do you feel differently about him because of this?
I feel a little bit.
That does happen.
I actually feel like Art, I think, feels about the woman, and that he sort of rushed headlong into it and bashed a couple, and now he's like, I don't know if I like how that felt, how this dynamic, outside of the moment when we just have to kind of be all around each other, this feels wrong, and that's why he's kind of a little bit more chaste with them now. And I feel a similar way in that I was just headlong, had art fever, had an art attack, now I've had an art transplant, and I don't feel quite so great about him anymore. And I'm still figuring out. I'm not saying, I'm artless.
How did we not do the heart puns earlier? How does it take us?
How long have you been working on
None. Those are just freestyle. I'm really proud. Probably the best stuff I've ever done.
Oh.
And I'm just gonna see where it all ends up.
For you personally,
I don't even know.
Yes.
As a bachelorette,
I just don't even know what just happened just now. What just happened? I have
It's
no
fine.
idea.
Let's just move on. Some
Duncan just
news.
said he's in love with art.
I did it. I'm getting all sweaty.
Okay, so Duncan, you're still in there. You're still in love, possibly
I will
more than
accept
ever.
this rose.
Okay.
Fine.
My last point, which kind of just seems like nothing after that great revelation, Duncan opening his art to us, is Christy and Alicia are teachers. Now, these students will be watching this. Have you ever stopped to think about that?
And Alicia's a high school teacher as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
so that's like
Christy must be too. Right? Does Christy teach PE? Or have I just made that up because she does? So. Okay, Ricky's nodding. She does teach PE. That's not a primary school thing, right? That's a high school thing.
That's
so
true.
we're assuming they're both high school teachers.
Yeah.
These students, man, that's embarrassing.
Well, I think it's fine. God, everyone does stupid. It's the internet.
Oh, yeah, and you think that, and the students are just going to let that go. They're just going to let that go. Miss walks into school on Monday. And
Detention. Just keep whacking them out. Can you imagine getting smart to Christy? She will f you up.
Yeah, no, I
just
wouldn't.
throw a dodgeball at your face.
I actually don't even want to be in the same room as Christy. I'm terrified she's going to listen to this and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, she's probably outside with suction cups behind that door right now. Even though there's a depth at foot height. Anyway.
Yes. Oh my goodness, this is a really
Do
long
you have enough
pod,
time?
but,
Well,
yeah,
I just brought some work from home. This is the TV guide, the latest TV guide, lovely publication. My favourite section of the TV guide is Mr. Tally, where angry people write in letters about everything. So we've got 2 letters here about The Bachelor. The headline is Bachelor Boy Bombs. So, they're off to a good start. Jenny from Lower Hutt writes, I've tried to watch The Bachelor NZ, but after viewing the US and Aussie versions, ours was so amateur and such an embarrassment that I gave up. What with a girl who couldn't walk in her gown and another who didn't know what her own interests were? Why, oh why, do we in New Zealand have to copy overseas programs? Are we not capable of coming up with our own ideas? Let's save some money and scrap the rubbish like The Bachelor NZ.
Whoa.
What do you guys think about
She's
that?
like a fan of the franchise, and yet she didn't even really give it a chance.
She's sat through...
She's artless.
I mean, the US version is long.
It's long.
And it's 80-minute episodes.
So good.
Jenny from Lower Hutt is steamed. The next one, which I'm a fan of, which I think the Bachelorettes have most of them have already seen it, because I sent it, direct to them, was from Cheryl and Napier. Why is it that New Zealand has to copy Australian shows? I noticed The Bachelor NZ is identical to the Australian show. Don't we have people here in New Zealand who can come up with their own original ideas? It portrays Kiwis as dummies who ride on the coattails of other nations. Also, the show is an embarrassment in my eyes. The chosen females, I won't call them ladies because they are far from it, are so crass and talk like they have just come off the farm. I mean, some of them have, Cheryl, but it's fine.
But Art's a farm boy. He'd love that.
Yeah,
No.
but he's like Karaka fancy farming, like gentleman farmer.
It's like mansion farm. Perhaps they would feel more comfortable in flannel shirts and gumboots. To interrupt the rose ceremony was the height of rudeness. She had no decorum whatsoever. And as for that Poppy, to break wind on a first date when she knew there were cameras there,
That's a second date thing. Come on.
words fail me. The cattiness among the women is nasty and childish. Instead of sitting down to dinner, they each need to have a saucer of milk put in front of them and be told to grow up. I won't be watching another episode, that's for sure.
The producers were listening and they provided big cocktail glasses of milk.
So good. Those were huge. I've never seen so much milk in one place.
So, Cheryl,
wow.
Your voice has been heard.
And that, I think, we'll end on Cheryl.
Yeah,
thanks, Cheryl.
Cheers.
Get in touch, TFS Pod.
TFS Pod, hashtag TFS Pod on the Twitter mobile, and send us, suggestions to talk about, because we've been talking already for about 58 minutes. And
I started late, remember. We've
been talking for an hour.
Whoa.
This is our first hour pod, and we'd love to just cram more in. So please do contact us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. And a shout out, obviously, to all the Bachelorettes past and remaining who have been chatting with us on Twitter. It's been so much fun talking to them.
Yep.
Talking to you guys, because you're listening, so you guys. And that's it. So thanks very much for listening. That's the end of the Fantasy Suite for this week. We will be back next week, and we'd like to do a big thank you to Ricky, our sound guy, to thespinoff.co.nz, and of course to lightbox.co.nz, and Lindauer. Thanks, Lindauer.
Lovely non-sponsors.
Any money or wine or anything?
Yeah.
When are we going to give this
Thanks, Lindauer.
Bye.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, Senior Writer at The Spinoff. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spinoff member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spinoff Podcast Network.